Hi everyone, I'm Matthew and I'd like to talk to you in this video about Parkinson's Law, first coined by Cyril Northcote Parkinson in an essay he wrote which started with, "Work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion." Basically, this statement suggests that a task will take 1 month to complete if a deadline of 1 month is given, or 2 months to complete if a deadline of 2 months is given. This obviously wouldn't apply to some things. For example, you couldn't ask a lady to have a baby in 1 month, but it would be applicable to some things, like writing essays or completing projects. You can probably think back to school and recall homework assignments that were set for you, and you'll likely not have used all the time you had available to complete it. If you're given 3 weeks to write a report on something, it can often take 3 weeks for people to complete it, or more accurately, it takes them a couple of days or a few hours right before the deadline at the end of the 3 weeks to complete it. I think back to my final year project at university, where I'd surprised myself and started my project before it was set by university lecturers. I knew it was going to be something that we were going to be asked to do, and I needed to free up some time for other projects that I was going to be working on later in that year, namely Formula Student. So I started in the summer of 2012, due for submission in roughly May 2013. I did this project in conjunction with the help from a company that I did my placement at, or at least that was the intention. An individual at the company was willing to help with this, but unfortunately underestimated the help that they could give me, at my expense, unfortunately, at the 11th hour. At roughly March or April time in 2013, I was told they could not help me, so most of my work which I've done prior was now wasted. I needed to start a new project and complete it on a much shorter timescale. To do this, I spoke to a computational fluid dynamics software provider who gave me their software for free for a limited time. I did a training course that they provided with me, and I focused hard on running the analysis on my project utilizing 10 computers at once in the dead of night in the university library. I then crammed all the information and everything that I'd learned from these simulations into a report, and I got a first for it at the end of this ordeal. So I did a year-long project in little more than a month. This is demonstration of Parkinson's Law in full effect. My deadline was tight and my productivity dialed right up. Another example of mine is in the uploading of my first video on YouTube. I created the channel at the back end of 2020, but it took me until mid-March of 2021 for the first video to go live. I wanted to build up a bank of videos prior to the first release to give me a good chance of staying ahead of the upload cadence. However, I think back on it now and my productivity in creating videos to stay ahead of the curve was dropping off. Now I have the pressure of releases catching up to me on a weekly basis. It would probably be a good idea for me to see how far I can push a more frequent upload and see how far I can take Parkinson's Law. The effect you get may be why some people are able to keep up with a daily upload. You see this effect manifest in management style too, where employees have interactions with their managers and the employee gets asked how long a task may take. The employee may say it takes 2 weeks, and the manager might give the cliche response of saying, "I'll give you 1 week." I'm thankful I've not been on the receiving end of this, but I can see the value in why the technique is used. I think it's important not to push this technique too far. If you impose a harsh deadline upon yourself, you may burn out and beat yourself up when you start falling short of your progress tracker. But on the flip side, being too generous in your deadline might not give you the motivation and focus ignited from the Parkinson's Law effect. Thank you everyone, and I'll see you in the next video.